Hello and welcome back everyone. In today's session we will be focusing on CSS cascading style sheets, also known as the presentation layer. But before we get started, we are going to look at the three different types of layers: presentation layer, content layer and behavior layer. So presentation layer, to format whole web pages or individual elements. Style sheets could include page layouts using div tags and text table formatting properties. So basically, in simple terms, CSS is used to add color and to format your web pages. The next layer is the content layer. So to enter the content like text, images, audio, video into a web page and to create suitable hyperlinks. So the content layer is just basically to add information. It's the skeleton of the website. There's no color to it. It's black and white. And then finally, we've got the behavior layer. So the behavior layer is done in JavaScript. So to enter scripting language to a web page or an individual element, so you can have image effects and pop-up messages and many other things. And this, again, as I mentioned earlier, is the interactivity between the user and the website. And just before we do move on, the content layer is done in HTML, which stands for hypertext markup language. So let's see what we are going to be doing today then. Task 1, create style sheet. So you need to write your own CSS for common styles like H1, H2, H3, PLI. Save the style sheet as text styles and attach the style sheet and apply the text styles. So as you can see here, we've got the different styles that we need to create, and we've got one for the table and one for the body. Once we've done that, we will need to create a table for task 2. So we need to create a new HTML file called homepage and attach the style sheet. We need to create the table shown below. Ensure that you merge the columns where you see that they need to be merged. Use the following table settings: height 400 pixels by width, which is 450 pixels. And you will need to insert the following text into the cells. So cell A, Manchester United; cell B, Falcao; cell C, the position; cell D, information about Falcao; cell E, previous clubs; and in cell F you will need to insert the image provided. So let's get started with task 1 first. So what we are going to do to begin with is create a style sheet, and the software application that we will be using is Web Expression 4. Task 1, creating a style sheet. So to begin with, load up Microsoft Expression Web 4 and then go to the File tab, select New, and then click on CSS. Now, the reason why we've selected CSS is because we are creating a style sheet to begin with. So CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheet. Before we do get started, we need to call this CSS file text style. So ensure that you get the spelling correct. So file, save as text styles. Ensure that you've got your upper and lowercase in the correct places. Once you've done that, we will ignore 2 for now because we haven't completed task 2. So we'll start creating our heading 1 style. To do this, you go into the bottom right hand side, Manage Styles tab, and select New Style. A window should pop up here called New Style. Here you need to give a name for your new style, which is H1. It's on the current page. Then you need to state the font family, so sans serif. So it could be any sans serif font. So I'm going to choose the Arial sans serif font there. So basically you'll see 3 fonts here. So if the first one's not available, it'll go to the second one. If the second one's not available, then it'll pick up any sans serif font. The next step is to insert the size. Remember 24, and it's pixels, not pt, inches, centimeters, pc, etc. So ensure that you've selected pixels, px. Font style is italic. The color's red and the weight's bold. So color is red, so I'm just going to select the color from the drop down menu, and we need to align it to the center. So here's just a preview of what the text will look like. So I'm going to go to block, text align, and center. Now I'm just going to move this down here and select apply. When you do click on apply, you will see the CSS style being applied to your text styles.css file. Once you're happy with that and you've covered everything in the checklist, select OK. So we've created our first style. The next step will be to create the next style, which is the heading 2 style. So to do this, you need to again select new style, give it an appropriate name, which is H2. We're on the current page. Font family is serif this time, so it could be any serif font. So I'm going to choose the Times New Roman. So again, it's saying the process that it's going to go through, and then at the end choose any serif font. And then it's the font size. Again, as you can see, when I select the drop down menu, I'm given the sizes in letters, text, words, but I need a specific size, which is 16. So just insert 16. The font style here is italic, same as before. We've got font weight bold, and we need to ensure that it's dark red. So as you can see, we've got red there. I'm just going to go to more colors and find a dark red color and then select OK. Once you've done that, the last part here is to align the text to the left. So to do this, select block and text align left. Once you're happy with that, again, as you're going through the process, you can select apply to see it pop up on your textiles file. And when you are happy, you could just read the description to ensure that you've got the correct style applied, and then select OK. Just ensure that you do apply the correct style. If you don't, you will have problems later on. So again, we're going to now do the third one, which is H3, and the font family here is sans serif. So it's the first one. Again, the size is 16. The color is red. It's going to be bold, and the text needs to be aligned to the left. So we go to the blocks tab and we select left. Once you're happy with that, you can apply it. As you can see, H3, and if you made any errors, change them and then select OK. Now the next one, we're moving on to paragraph. So we are going to use P for paragraph. So new style, give it a suitable name, which is P, and then we are going to choose our font family. In this instance, it's serif. So select the serif text. Font size is 12 this time. So 12 black, and it's justified. So go to block, text align, and justify. Once you're happy with that, select apply, double check it, and then OK. Now the next one is a list. So here we are going to use serif, size 14, dark blue color, text align to the left, and we are going to use the list style disk. So let's get started again. New style. This time we are going to use LI. The next step is to select the appropriate font family, which is serif. So we've got sans serif, and then we have serif. After that, we need to insert the font size, which is 14 for our list. The color needs to be dark blue, so select dark blue, and text align to the left. So go to the blocks category, select text align left. And the final part is to add the disk style for the list. So we go to list, and then we go to list style type and select disk. Once you've done that, you can preview it and you can see the description at the bottom here. Select apply to view your code and ensure your code goes with what was asked of you. So font family is a serif, 14 size, dark blue, left align and disk. Once you're happy with that, you can select OK and then move on to the next part, which is the table. So for the table, we are going to have external borders, which is black, solid line and 3 pixels. So to do this, we need to again go to New Style. This time type in Table. So the first thing we are going to do is change the internal color of the table to yellow. So to do this, you need to select background and then select background color and select yellow. And you'll see a preview below to show you that you've changed the background color. Select apply and the code should appear below. So table background color has been set to yellow. The next step would be to do the external border, which is black, solid line, 3 pixels. Now to do this, you need to go to the border category. You need to select the border style, which is solid, 3 pixels. So enter 3. And the color that you need to choose is black as per the requirements. Once you've done that, select apply and you should see that pop up on your CSS file. And when you're happy with that, just double check and then select OK. The next part, or the part that we have not done yet, is the internal border, which needs to be red with a solid line 1 pixel. So to do this, again, we need to select New Style, but this time we are going to type in TD for the table data. So this will do the internal borders. So here, what we need to do is ensure that the lines within the table are red, they're solid on 1 pixel. So we need to select border. We need to select solid from border style. We need to select border width is 1 pixel and the color that we want is red internally. Once you're happy with that, select apply, the code should appear and then select OK. Now we have the final part to do here, which is the body. Set the background color to gray. This should be straightforward. Once again, select the New Style text. This time type in body and then go to background and select the color gray and select apply. As you can see, when I click on OK below here, body, the background color has been set to gray. Now you're ready to move on to task. Task 2. Create a new HTML file called homepage and attach the style sheet. So first of all, we need to create the new HTML file by going to File, New HTML, and then saving this as homepage. So back to File, Save As, and call it homepage. Remember, I'm not using a capital H, so ensure your spelling is spot on. Once you're happy with that, select Save. The next step will be to attach the style sheet. Select Attach Style Sheet, locate your style sheet by selecting Browse, and locate it, select it and open, and then select OK. And as you can see here, link href, there's a link to the style sheet that I've just created, and as you've seen there, the background has changed to grey. So the next part of the task is to create the table shown below. So as you can see, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 rows and 3 columns. So to do this, you need to go to the menu above and select Table, Insert Table, and enter the number of rows. So as we mentioned, 4 rows and 3 columns, and specify the width. So as you can see here, the width is 450. So change the 100 to 450 and specify the height to 400. Now, before you select OK, you need to ensure that you select in pixels, not in percent. So ensure in pixels is selected. The next step will be to set the cell padding to 0 and cell spacing. And the reason why is because it has not been specified in our requirements. Once you're happy with the settings, select OK and the table should appear. The next step will be to make our table look like the one on the left here. So to start off with, I would highly recommend you merge the top row. So to do this, just left click and drag it across so all 3 cells are highlighted on row 1, and then right click, select modify and merge cells. And the next cells we are going to merge are the ones in the 3rd column and the bottom 3. So highlight them again by left clicking and dragging it across, and then modify and merge cells. Now I'm going to merge the 2 cells at the bottom and the final row. Right click and modify and merge cells again. And the final cells that we need to merge are the ones in the middle. So highlight them by dragging the left click across, modify and merge cells. Now it's time to populate the table. So in cell A, we need to select H1, so H stands for heading 1, and insert the text Manchester United. So let's select the top row and then go to the top here, select heading 1, H1, and then type in Manchester United. In the row below, it's cell B, which needs to be set to H2, and we need to put Falcao's name in there. So once you've done that, you can just highlight the text, go to the top and select H2. In cell C, we need to insert position forward. So position colons forward, and then date of birth. Just ensure that you get the spelling correct as it is, upper and lower cases. Once you've done that, apply the H3 style. So back to the top menu bar and select H3. And in cell D, you need to insert the following text. Falcao is a Colombian footballer who plays as a striker for Manchester United on loan from AS Monaco. Once you've done that, you need to apply the P style, so the paragraph style. So highlight the text, go back to the top and select the paragraph style. Cell E, you need to insert the title previous clubs and set that as H3. So let's start off with previous clubs. Highlight the text and then apply H3. Once you've done that, hit enter, select bullet points, so it says clubs as LI, which means a list. It hasn't specified whether it's going to be an ordered or an unordered list, so I would recommend you select bullets and then type in the names of the clubs that Falcao has played for. So the first one's Porto, then it's Atletico Madrid, then it was AS Monaco, and then Manchester United. Once you've done that, your final step would be to insert the image in cell F. So to do this, just select cell F, then go to the top menu, select Insert Picture from File, and locate Falcao's image, select it, and then click on Insert. Give it an appropriate name, so I'm going to call mine Falcao for the alternative text, and then click on OK. And there you have it, you've successfully completed the task.